All right. Suppose we have this. How do we do this one? Now, suppose we're asked to solve for B. So we want to get B by itself. Now, what we have when numbers are next to variables, this is really 1/2 times B times H. So we want to cancel the half and cancel the H. Now, one way we could cancel the half is divide both sides by a half. And if we do that, because dividing by a half is the opposite of multiplying by a half, the half will go away. But again, what we do to one side, got to do to the other. So what we end up getting is A divided by a half, switch my pens, is H. Now we can do something with this. We can actually simplify it. We can let A be A over 1. And that's fine. Again, 3 over 1 is just 3. A over 1 is just A. This and this are the same thing. Divide this by a half. And I'm going to simplify this side down. Let's just focus on this side for now. So this would become A over 1 times 2 over 1. Remember, we flip, change that to multiplication, and that's what we get. Multiplying across, A times 2 is 2A. 1 times 1 is 1. And then 2A divided by 1, well, that's just 2A. Just like 3 divided by 1 is just 3. So it turns out this is equal to 2A. So now let's go back to our problem. Now that we've simplified this to being 2A, we get B times H. So we want to solve for B. So we want to cancel this times H. But we divide by H, and it goes away. Now, we're going to get into something here that might be a little confusing. I'm going to divide by H on this side, but what do I divide, the 2 or the A or both? Well, remember when we divide, it's like cutting the weight by a certain amount. Like if we divide by 2, we would take half of this weight away and tack half of this weight away. So we take half the weight of an entire side away, take half the weight of the other side away. So if, say, we were dividing this in half, we have to divide the entire side here in half. What this means is we're actually going to have to divide the entire side by H. And technically, that's actually what we're doing over here. It just so happens that the times H and the divide by H, when they meet up, when this side meets up with divide by H, these parts of that side will cancel. But over here on this side, there's no other times H to make this go away. So the whole side is divided by H. Going to get that. So it's important to recall that a lot of the problems, the way I've been showing them, it's like, well, this one element cancels and this one element cancels. Technically, what's going on, we're modifying the entire side. And say on this other side, maybe something was, or say on this side, something over here would happen to cancel. But really, we're dividing this side by H. It just so happens there's a times H to absorb it. But on this side, there is no times H. So this whole side still gets divided by H. So that's one way to solve this problem. There is another way. recall the reciprocals. The reciprocal of 1/2 is 2/1. And when we multiply a reciprocal, a number by its reciprocal, the answer is always 1. Assuming we're not dealing with 0. So, or the 2/1 is the same as 1/2. 2 divided by 1 is 2. So this implies that, well, this will give us the same result. And again, if you wanted to check that, remember to multiply fractions, we'd have to give this a denominator of 1 anyway. Multiply across and we'll get 1. So what we can do here is just multiply both sides by 2. Multiply this side by 2, multiply this side by 2. And so we get 2a equals 1 times BH. And then 1 times BH, well, that's just BH. Multiplication by 1 doesn't change anything. So 2a is BH. Last thing to do, divide both sides by h. So that'll cancel, and we're going to divide this side, entire side, by h. So we get 2a over h equals b. So that's a second way of going around that problem. So any questions about that, let me know.